Follow the law in bid to raise taxes. Raila tells Ruto the government must involve Kenyans before introducing new taxation measures. That is Azimio la Umoja leaders saying. ODM leader Raila Odinga, the coalition's presidential candidate in the last general election, telling President William Ruto to call for public participation before increasing taxes. He accuses the head of state of trying to implement policies without going through the right legal channels, such as seeking the approval of Parliament. He says Dr. Ruto has failed to consider the effect of the proposed taxes on Kenyans, whom he says are already overburdened. And Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka, on the other hand, asking the Kenya Kwanza administration to implement its campaign promises, which included cushioning Kenyans from the high cost of essential commodities and famine instead of increasing taxes. Let me begin with Wakili Dunstan. All right, so you must follow the law in a bid to raise taxes, Raila tells the president, but the president is also very clear in insisting that his administration is taking this route. We're expanding the tax bracket and Kenyans must pay taxes.
I understand the president's realization too late that the promises he made must be funded by taxpayers' money. He cannot have his salary to run government. But the law must be followed in terms of any increase of taxation. Let me contextualize the question about NSSF. NSSF, a free-bench judge, has already pronounced itself that any attempt to raise money from 200 to any other amount of money is unconstitutional. Still, the president and his brigade are insisting that they want people to start saving. They want people to raise enough tax. Zainab, I watched NTV, the drought situation in this country. 4.5 million Kenyans are starving. You want to raise tax from people who are dying because they have nothing to eat. You want to raise taxes from jobless Kenyans who do not have any job. You want to raise taxes from people who have never gotten services. In my own view, it is a paradox.
But how is it
a paradox?
Okay, in this sense, the government perhaps to look at where they're coming from. So essentially, we have about what, only about 2 million Kenyans who are paying taxes, yes, out of 22 million who actually, you know, have registered under not KRA, but they have
IDs.
They have identity cards and M-Pesa services. So I mean, so the government is saying, look, we have all these people, whether in the formal or in the informal sector. So look, let's bring as many people, as many Kenyans into this so that we can at least, you know, be able to ramp up revenue to meet that target that we're talking about, what, 6 trillion collection target by 2027?
That is what I'm saying.
Right.
By virtue of 22 million people having IDs, it is not an ID that generates income. Correct. And that is what Professor Ndungu should advise the president. Having an ID is to avoid the police arresting you that you are a foreigner. The people who have IDs in this country who have never earned 10 shillings per month earn 99%. Number two, M-Pesa accounts. The M-Pesa accounts, it is not for salary, for income. Correct. It is for Ishmael and me, when I go to West Mogrango, to send 20 shillings to my mother. So if now there is a tax for receiving money, because what the government is saying, anybody receiving who has an M-Pesa account where Kenyans have opened in anticipation that if they win in gambling or in Betika, they'll be paid for that money. Then you are telling Kenyans, pay tax for opening an M-Pesa account. Really, this government is getting it very wrong. The question, taxation, the first entry for taxation is ability. Does this person generate any income? Graduates in this country, before I left teaching at Catholic University, all the students, all the graduates have no jobs. Then you are saying, we want to tax. Who are you taxing? Okay. So let us agree that only the people who are 2 million, who are in the tax bracket, those are almost 100% of those who generate income. And when we are going to the hustlers, you saw the cabinet. The totality of income of the cabinet is almost the budget of the Kenyan government. Why don't we tax those ones instead of looking somebody who carries an ID to avoid the policeman from arresting him? You are telling him pay taxes.
But you do have like issue. Yes, Prof. Let's begin with you. And I mean the president's proposals isn't just to expand the tax bracket to those in the informal sector, but also